The modern complexes, how they hollow us out from the inside. This video talks about shame, body image, and deep self-doubt. If anything here triggers intense distress or thoughts of self-harm, please pause and seek immediate support from a trusted person or a mental health professional. You scroll. Someone's photo flashes across the screen. Perfect light, perfect smile, perfect posture. Your own reflection in a shop window feels smaller. A thought arrives like a stone. There's something wrong with how I look. Another day, another post, another quiet judgment. She's prettier, he's fitter. I'll never be enough. These are not one-off feelings. They become patterns, grooves worn into the mind. Welcome to the age of modern complexes. This is a script about how contemporary life cultivates new kinds of complexes. The weight complex, the prettier than me complex, the something's wrong with my appearance complex, and others that have grown out of screens, comparisons, and metrics. This is about how these complexes grow, how they live inside us, and how they slowly eat away at a person from within. What I mean by modern complex. A complex is an emotionally charged cluster, memories, images, sensations, and stories that act as an automatic program inside you. Modern complexes are those shaped and amplified by our present environment. Social media, image economies, the quantified self, influencer culture, and a marketplace of instant judgment. They are old patterns wearing new clothes. They do not just influence choices. They shift the felt center of a person. They tilt attention, they harden responses, and, over time, they rewrite identity. The weight complex, the feeling, a persistent, gnawing shame about the body size or shape that colors almost every mirror, every purchase, every decision about energy and presence. It feels like carrying a constant private critique, like an internal commentator that won't stop. How it forms now. Industry messages. Diet culture sells the idea that thinness equals moral worth, success, and attractiveness. Visual economies. Algorithms reward images of ideal bodies. Feeds become narrow and repetitive. Medicalization and moralization. Conversations about weight are often entangled with judgment and quick prescriptions, which moralize an already fraught topic. Personal histories. Tease remarks in childhood, family comments, or traumatic event around body exposure. How it eats from inside. Internalization, harsh external messages become internal verdicts. I am less because of my weight. Hypervigilance. Attention narrows to calories, scales, and perceived failures. Life shrinks to management of the body. Self-sabotage in cycles. Strict rules meet rebellion. Guilt fuels restriction. Restriction fuels binging or withdrawal. The complex creates its own feedback loop. Social withdrawal. Avoidance of social situations, intimacy, and visibility for fear of judgment. Identity narrowing. I am my weight. Eclipses other aspects of being. The modern twist. Filters, editing apps, and curated wellness content normalize an impossible standard. While bodies have always been judged, now the judgment is constant, global, and algorithmically reinforced. The weight complex feeds on that relentless exposure. The someone is prettier than me complex. The feeling, an acute comparative sting, seeing another person and feeling diminished, not merely because they are attractive, but because your internal story interprets their look as proof of your lack. How it forms now. Constant comparison engines, endless curated images of polished beauty styles present a moving target. Influencer economies. Attractiveness becomes currency. Attention metrics create visible hierarchies. Mirror panic. Early experiences of rejection or dismissal fuse with social proof, a look, a joke, a passed-over opportunity, and live as a chronic fear. How it eats from inside. Erase your self-worth. The posture comparison makes your value conditional on outcompeting someone else. FOMO on validation. Attention becomes a scarce resource. You equate being seen with being worthy. Social anxiety. Every social scene becomes an arena where your rank might be measured. Performance persona. You begin perform in ways that are not you, to chase a version that will win social reward. The modern twist. These comparisons are algorithmically curated. You rarely see the whole person, only the highlights. The brain builds a myth from fragments and compares your private moments to someone else's polished reel. It's an impossible contest. The something is wrong with my appearance complex. The feeling, a persistent conviction that some feature, your nose, your skin, your hair, your teeth, is fundamentally flawed and marks you as not enough. Unlike the weight complex, this is often focused, specific, and merciless. How it forms now. Micro standards. Beauty standards fragment into endless small categories. Clear skin, perfect brow. Angle, perfect jaw. Visual learning. Constant exposure to close-up tutorials, filters, and cosmetic surgery narratives makes minor differences feel monumental. Identity fusion. A single critique in adolescence or an unkind comment can anchor into a lifelong narrative. How it eats from inside. Mirror scrutiny. The face becomes a battleground. Attention trawls for flaws. Identity shrink. Self-worth attaches to a detail that is socially framed as fixable or problematic. Compulsive solutions. Obsession with correction, concealment, or optimization that dominate finances, attention, and relationships. Shame looping. The more you scan, the more shame grows. The more shame grows, the deeper you scan. The modern twist. Beauty industries profit from making small insecurities feel like crises with clear solutions. Clinics, apps, and creators offer fixes, some beneficial, some exploitive, and the cycle continues. Other contemporary complexes. The performative wellness complex. Worth tied to visible rituals, smoothies, workouts, sleep trackers, where health becomes a public badge rather than private care. The hustle/status complex. Self-value measured by productivity metrics, follower counts, or income, which eats life into work and reduces identity to achievement. The brand self-complex. The pressure to curate a personal identity as a marketable brand. Always polished, always on message. The comparison timeline complex. Life milestones judged against peers' highlight reels, engagement house job, producing a chronic sense of lateness or failure. The invisible flaw complex. A diffuse anxiety that something unseen about you will be discovered and disqualify you in relationships or careers. Each of these is fed by the same environment. Amplified visibility, metrics that rank, and economies that reward attention. They are different faces of a single contemporary wound. The need to be seen as perfect in an always visible world. How a complex becomes an internal parasite. Imagine a small, hungry thing that lodges in the walls of your interior life. At first it is discreet, an old comment, a hurt glance, a meme that stung. But over time it grows tendrils. It rewires attention. The brain learns to prioritize threat or lack-related data. You begin to scan reality for confirmation. It alters memory. Recall becomes biased toward evidence that supports the complex. You remember rejections more vividly than praise. It trains behavior. Avoidance, perfectionism, compulsive correction. These behaviors become second nature, each action feeding the complex with fresh data. It erodes pleasure. Joy shrinks because the complex reallocates emotional currency to vigilance and self-critique. It manufactures identity. What started as a strategy becomes who you are. The person argues with themselves like an occupied house arguing with the intruder. Energy is wasted on defense. The slow consumption is not dramatic. It is stealthy. It is an attrition of confidence, curiosity, and connection. Over years, relationships narrow, risks fade, and life becomes smaller, safer, and lonelier. Why modern life makes this easier? Constant social comparison. Your phone feeds you curated lives as a baseline for measurement. Rapid feedback loops, likes, comments, and views provide instantaneous social currency, making attention addictive. Narrow standards amplified. Niche aesthetics become viral norms, producing more precise but less attainable ideals. Economies of optimization. Self-improvement markets promise quick fixes for deep wounds, which can deepen dependency rather than heal. These conditions are not your fault. They are the environment in which human vulnerabilities are now monetized and magnified. Gentle ways out. You ask for guidance on how to be free of these complexes. Here are principles, honest and practical, that tend to loosen their hold. These are not step-by-step prescriptions. They are orientations you can bring into your life. 1. See the pattern as a pattern. Name it. When the voice says, "There's something wrong with me," add a quieter sentence. "This is my weight/appearance/comparison script speaking." Naming creates distance. 2. Reclaim the archive. Gather real, specific evidence that contradicts the complex. Small, concrete data points, kind notes, moment of competence, times when people chose you, slowly rebalance memory. 3. Narrow the relevance of external metrics. Recognize metrics like numbers, complements as partial signals, not complete valuations. Let them inform but not define your sense of worth. 4. Choose small experiments of risk. Try one small act that contradicts the script. Wear a piece of clothing you normally avoid. Say no once. Publish something imperfect. The point is not perfection, but data that reality is not as catastrophic as the complex predicts. 5. Cultivate relational mirrors. A few honest humans who can reflect your patterns back with compassion are more powerful than thousands of online strangers. Trusted feedback rewrites the social reinforcement loop. 6. Limit the ambient comparison. Curate feeds mute triggers, create breaks from constant visibility. Environment matters. Decluttering your inputs can slow the parasites feeding. 7. Practice patience with identity change. When you shift, people will notice and react. Expect discomfort. Recognize that losing a protective role, the apologizer, the hidden perfectionist, feels like loss. Grieve it. Don't vilify it. 8. Attend to embodied regulation. The complex lives in the body. Rhythm, sleep, gentle movement, and restful presence make the nervous system less reactive and the prefrontal cortex more available for choice. 9. Consider skilled support. A clinician or therapist can help map the pattern, hold its complexity, and guide durable change. Professional support speeds reconfiguration. These orientations are cumulative. Freedom arrives not in a single revelation, but in the slow accretion of experiences that say, you are more than this old story. A final image. Imagine your interior as a garden. For years, a vine of shame creeps along the fence, clever and persistent. Pruning once will not remove the roots, but tending, season after season, light, different plants, water, the patience to let new shoots take hold, gradually the vine loses its dominance. The garden becomes larger than the vine. Complexes are like that vine. They can be managed, transformed, and eventually overshadowed by a broader life. Overcoming deep-seated complexes is a challenging but profoundly liberating journey that begins with self-awareness and acceptance. The first step is to recognize and acknowledge the presence of these complexes without judgment or shame. Understand that these feelings are not personal failings, but often the result of societal pressures, past experiences, and internalized beliefs. Once you identify the specific complex that affects you, whether it's related to body image, self-worth, or social comparison, you can start to gently question the validity of the negative thoughts and feelings associated with it. This process involves cultivating a compassionate inner dialogue, replacing harsh self-criticism with kindness and understanding. It's important to limit exposure to harmful influences, such as unrealistic social media portrayals or toxic environments, which can reinforce these complexes. Instead, seek out positive role models and communities that celebrate diversity and authenticity. Building resilience also requires developing healthy habits that nurture your mental and physical well-being, including regular exercise, mindfulness practices, and creative outlets that allow self-expression. Professional support, such as therapy or counseling, can be invaluable in unpacking the roots of your complexes and learning effective coping strategies. Remember, overcoming complexes is not about erasing insecurities overnight, but about gradually reshaping your self-perception and reclaiming your sense of worth. It's a continuous process of growth, patience, and self-discovery. By embracing your imperfections and focusing on your strengths, you create a foundation for genuine confidence and inner peace. Ultimately, the goal is to free yourself from the invisible chains of these complexes, allowing you to live more fully, authentically, and joyfully. This journey is deeply personal, but you are not alone. Many have walked this path and found light beyond the shadows of their complexes. If this spoke to you, subscribe to the channel. We'll keep exploring these hidden textures of modern life together. Leave one word in the comments that names the pattern you most recognize in yourself. If this video helped you feel less alone, hit the like button. It helps others find conversation. Thank you for listening. You are not a problem to be fixed. You are a person learning to live with more truth and less fear.